You're listening to Soul Food Chats.
Conversations that nourish your soul.
I'm Rahul.
And I'm Natalia.
So grab your favorite drink,
Get cozy,
open your mind,
and let's start chatting.
Hi everyone.
Welcome back.
Today we're going to be talking about
People pleasing. I think a lot of us either have struggled or still struggle with people pleasing, don't you think?
I think a lot of us have gone through an era of
Yeah.
our life where that was a very big problem, right?
Yeah, it's a common thing.
I definitely have
Yeah.
at one point.
Yeah, I would people please most of my teenage years just because obviously I was constantly looking for that external validation.
Exactly.
I would always strive to please everyone, because I was just scared of that kind of rejection, not being liked by them. And I would rarely say no, especially in situations that I didn't really want to be a part of.
100%. I just want to get into what you said there about like you wanted people to like you. I think for me as well, it was a big thing of like, why did I had this constant need that I want these people to like me. I needed their external validation, right?
Yeah.
To, I don't know, feel good enough in a situation sometimes. Or I just had this constant need myself that I want these people to like me. And it's really interesting how, some of what we've spoken about before links to that, but then ultimately it comes down to people pleasing too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, always being a yes man, a go-to person, even like...
When you don't like something.
Yeah, like even if somebody is messaging you about something or telling you their problems, but you're not necessarily feeling it today or you're having a tough time, I would suck it up and still, be there for them. But sometimes it's good to like set a boundary, not because you want to be mean or, you don't want to hang out with that person or you don't want to help them, right? But it's just to take care of yourself as well. How do you feel in this moment? Can you handle this? If it feels uncomfortable, if it feels like a struggle, isn't it better to step away in that instance and take some time away from the situation just for your own sake?
Absolutely.
For your own good?
Absolutely. I think for me now, it's always about now that I just don't put myself in certain situations where, for example, some people would potentially drain my energy or I've just felt maybe that energy doesn't serve me anymore or that situation doesn't serve me for my highest good. So I don't put myself in those situations. And I think before I would feel bad before for saying no or sorry, I can't come to this or, sorry, I'm busy. Honestly, you don't even have to explain yourself. You can just say no and that's okay. It's not to be rude. But I used to think it's going to look rude.
Yeah, I think we both thought that was the way it should be, And I always felt bad. Like I had to explain my every move, my every decision. I had to, explain it and describe how I made this decision and why I'm saying no. And, in my head, it was such a huge deal. But truly, I think other people don't even think about it that much.
No, they don't. And honestly, I used to think, I've got to look polite in front of these people. It's also like, I have to look perfect in front of these people. I have to be perfect in front of these people.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, hang on a minute. Why? Because that's not really serving me.
Yeah. Like a very important question that popped up in my head is ignoring my own needs and enduring in that uncomfortable feeling worth it, and I sometimes started saying, and that because I've mentioned it to you, this event or this party that I was just invited to is great, but is it worth it? Because I'm not necessarily feeling like going, or I'm not necessarily feeling good today, or I have some responsibilities, or it's too long to travel there, and I would just feel guilty that I can't make it, or I'm making a decision to not go. And I would feel guilty that I'm letting that person down. But truly, it's just setting that boundary for yourself. And if I'm not feeling secure of going somewhere, I don't really want to go to that event today, I just decided to just follow my gut instead of, I have to go there because I have to make an appearance.
Right.
Because otherwise what? Yeah. The world isn't going to end. I don't think those people are going to be mad at me or...
No, and honestly, I've learned that if they are mad at you, they're probably not the right people to have in your life in the first place. Because the right people around you will understand, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, you know, my birthday this year, 1 or 2 people, they couldn't come because they had other engagements to go to. And I totally respect that because they've got other things going on in their life. And those are things maybe they have to do for their family or for some other reason, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and go, oh my God, how rude they didn't come. I'm not going to say that because I just understand.
It's not that it's not something personal
exactly
to you. It just
actually it's personal to me. If I can't come, it's personal to me.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, you know, sometimes you want to take some rest for yourself. Sometimes life can be busy. It can be overwhelming, especially in our profession.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't always feel like going, oh, I'm going out or going to a party or it can really be about anything, right? And I think I found that I don't want to sacrifice my own health and my own inner peace just to be at this party or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever is the scenario, right? It's not worth it.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And I think the moment I started saying no more often, being assertive, you know, choosing that to be assertive in those moments for my own good is where everything changed for me. It wasn't easy at the beginning, but the more I've practiced it, the easier it got and it was more natural to me.
Exactly. I think you have to sort of practice that assertiveness. You've got to practice saying no. And it sounds like such a simple thing, but when you've been a yes man and when you've been people pleasing, trust me, it's not a simple thing. You have to, you know, it almost feels, the first time you do it, it almost feels like, whoa, did I do something wrong? No, you didn't do something wrong. It's very draining. Yeah, you just got to take your time with it and keep practicing it. And no, it's okay to say no. And you can still say no in a polite way. You can assert that power with love. You don't necessarily have to be rude to people. It's not about being rude. It's just about, listen, I need to do this for me, so I can't do this for you right now. And that's okay. And I'm sorry I can't come.
Yeah.
It's about doing it in a way that is healthy for you, but in a way that, you know, sort of takes everything into consideration. So if you have something you need to do for yourself, go do it.
Go and do it. And listening to your intuition, to your gut feeling is huge and can be very helpful to find your own compass, you know?
Exactly. And just know that it's not selfish either to have that. And sometimes I would be in situations where it's like, I know I'm having that gut feeling. I can feel it. I feel so uncomfortable in this situation.
But then you're doubting, but maybe it's just, you know, just me being crazy. Why do you think you are being crazy?
Exactly.
You're feeling it for a reason. You're not crazy. You're perfectly fine. You're getting a gut feeling. Your intuition is talking to you.
That intuition is ringing and you've got to pick up the phone and be like, okay,
yeah,
I'm listening. I'm listening. Right? Listen to your body, give your body what it needs. And sometimes that is actually a form of self-care, to be honest with you, is just taking the time out for yourself that you need and setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is a big thing when it comes to people pleasing. You know, I've now set boundaries for myself where it's like this kind of situation, I know it's not served me. It never has served me and I know it never will. So listen, I'm not putting myself in this scenario again. I'm not gonna, you know, go to this kind of thing. Or it could be, you know, a certain group of people, maybe you don't really feel like it's serving you anymore. Or maybe on this occasion, I don't want to hang out with them. Because my boundary is that if I've got too much on this week and I need to look after myself and have time for myself, that then maybe I'm not going to do the social thing, you know, this week. Yeah. That doesn't mean I'm never going to do it. It just means maybe this week I'm not going to do it. Yeah. And so having those boundaries for yourself will really help you to assert that as well, I think.
Yes. Even at work, I remember on a few occasions, I would, you know, take on more responsibility than I should have. That sometimes it was also beyond my pay grade. And I thought, oh, this way, you know, they're going to notice how amazing I am and how hardworking and committed I can be. No, truly, I was just being used, you know? It doesn't happen in every instance. Okay. It's not to say that you shouldn't put the extra work in, anything you want to work hard towards. But it's just about finding that balance of, okay, I'm going to do some extra work here, but also I'm going to be mindful of what I'm getting back,
Exactly.
Of also being able to receive, not always give, and always be the giver.
And it's like giving at what cost? You are sacrificing I did it, I've been there, where you sacrifice your mental health, you sacrifice your physical health sometimes as well. You sacrifice the things that you need to do. And it's like I would then have more stress and more things to do and not enough time to do it. And I'd become overwhelmed. But people wouldn't see that struggle, right? Because I wouldn't show it to them. It's something I would go through internally. I'm not going to do that anymore. Why would I do it to myself? Do you know what I mean? If it's not something that's necessary to go through, why am I going through it?
Because sometimes you end up in situations where people are just using you. Or your employers are using you because you're always saying yes. You're always agreeing to everything, and you will,
100%.
do whatever anybody asks of you. So yeah, some people use that because they love it. They don't have to give anything back. You're still there. They're still going to receive from you.
People actually read that energy, and people are actually thinking, well, he or she's always going to be doing that. So I don't actually need to give them anything in return.
Yeah.
But then I think it also comes down to self-respect too, in some cases.
Yeah, and valuing yourself,
Exactly. I think people pleasing is heavily rooted sometimes in low self-worth or low self-esteem. For me, that was a very big issue.
Yeah.
That's something we're probably going to get into in a different episode.
Yes.
But but I think, when you have a low self-esteem, you have low self-worth, that can basically make you into a people pleaser.
Yeah, you're always looking for others to define you. You're looking for that external validation constantly. So
whereas actually, when you realize that actually, no, I'm really good on my own. I do respect myself, and I don't just need the respect. It's great if other people respect you, and they should respect you, but actually they only start respecting you when you have self-respect for yourself. Because in this people-pleasing scenario, they're not respecting you. They're walking over you. And you don't want people to do that anymore to you. And you don't deserve that. You deserve so much better. You deserve to be treated better. But it all comes down, and I know we said it, that we keep repeating this. It all comes down to you and your mindset, because everything in your life is reflected back to you.
yes.
You have to change it within yourself. Treat yourself better, and other people will treat you better too.
Whatever you give to yourself, others will give back to you. It always starts with yourself, nobody else.
100%.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye. It just makes you feel bad, but not actually the other person.
Yeah, because even though you're angry at them and you're blaming them, the only one that's actually suffering is you.
Is you. Yeah,
right?
yourself.
Because they're probably not even thinking about it. And I don't know, maybe they've moved on, or they're doing whatever they're doing in their lives. And you are the one who's still sitting here.
Bitter about it.
Yeah, bitter.
Yeah.
And honestly, you cannot progress in your life.
And you can't let it go.
Yeah.
It's your fault that you can't let it go.
Exactly. And you can't put that on the other person. You can't control what they did, and you can't control what happened to you. But ultimately, you can only control your reaction.